guys ready for some Doom trivia? Got your trivia hats on? All right.
I'm not going to do very good at this, I don't think.
Neither am I. Neither am I. I've never paid attention to what's going on in a Doom game. Why would you?
Right? You mean
shit.
what?
No.
I think.
Listen, I think you guys are gonna be all right. You guys are gonna be fine.
Let's do this. Yep.
All right. So
I got all faith.
I've got like roughly 9 questions. All right, and some fun facts to go along with all of them. So,
okay.
First question is, when was the first Doom established?
Wasn't it 1992?
Russell, what's your answer?
Well, okay, wait. What do you mean by established?
When was the first Doom?
When was the first Doom?
I want to say 93.
Russell got it. It is exactly 93. You were really close, though, Fraser. So what is the best-selling Doom?
Oh, God.
Doom 2. Has to be. Has to be Doom 2.
Are you sure? I want to say Eternal, but... Well, screw it. Fraser, you can say 2. I'll say Eternal. I might be wrong, though.
And it goes to Russell again. It was Doom Eternal, believe it or not.
Okay.
So, I'm going to kind of... Okay. Doom Eternal. It doubled its sales figures from the 2016 Doom. It reportedly brought in $450 million within its first 9 months.
I was going to say, Doom 2 is probably on more platforms than the rest of them.
So I do actually have that info, but that's after another question. How many copies from the original Doom, like the Doom 93, how many copies did that sell?
In total, forever. Till today kind of deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not as much as you would think.
I'm going to say...
I looked this up like a year ago for some fucking
10 million.
Reason. I don't think it's anywhere near that. Maybe 3? Maybe 3 million?
Okay, so we got 3 million from Russell, and what did you say, Fraser?
10 million.
10 million? Neither of you are right. It is 1.36 million. So
is that all?
Didn't even go past 2 million.
So I will point out that outrageous game sales in the 90s are very different from what they would be now.
That is exactly what I did some research on. To help put that in perspective, Street Fighter 2 was the best-selling game of 93 at 5+ million. While today games like Hogwarts Legacy, aka the best-selling game of 2023, sold 22 million within that year.
Right.
So, yeah, like last year's best-selling game, 22 million. The best-selling game of 93 was 5 million. So 1.36 million probably wasn't so best. So I do apologize because I told you it was overall, but I think when I wrote this down, it was actually probably within that year. So I apologize, Fraser. I fucked you up on that one.
Nope. Fine.
Then let's see. How many... Now, here's a big one. And I know this is a little bit boring because the last 2 questions were kind of similar. But roughly how many copies do you think have sold throughout the franchise?
Oh, God,
of just Doom.
Just Doom. Full stop.
50 million.
Okay. We got 50 million.
No, it's got to be more.
Okay.
So, when you say... Oh, those probably didn't sell very well anyway. There's some weird... there's
Doom was on
weird...
Nintendo?
No, there's some weird Doom-related releases on the PS1, and I'm wondering if those...
Now, I will say,
but...
I will say, these numbers only take into account the mainline games.
Okay.
Do your thing, Fraser.
Steve, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna stick with my 50 million.
Okay. And then What are you gonna
It's gotta
say?
be. It's gotta be less than that. Sorry, I was looking up Resident Evil
Look,
figures just.
You
'Cause
can
I'm
see
assuming...
you can see in his glasses. He's looking up the. He's cheating.
Yeah, yeah. You see in my glasses where it says Resident Evil video games worldwide sales.
You're
No.
googling how many copies of Doom sold.
If do you want to see my screen?
So it's
No,
actually
I do not.
it's actually crazy because
Um,
I couldn't simply Google it. They won't. Google won't give you a rough estimate.
I'll ignore what Steve just put in. 'Cause my instinct my instinct was actually to go with Fraser's number, so I'll bump it and say 60. But...
Okay. So it's actually super duper fucking off. Both of yours. 15 million.
Is that all?
15 million. Blew my fucking mind, I'll tell you. So I already told you that I love you, Steve. You're awesome. I knew I was gonna throw you guys off by being like, oh, Steve, shut up. Like, yeah, no, I knew like Steve was way off too. But like, no. So yeah, Doom 1 only sold like not even 1.5 million. Sold about 1.5 million. Doom 2 sold 2 million. So that's how many copies of Doom 2 sold. 2 million. Doom 3, 3.5. Doom 3 sold 1 million copies for PC. And then the Doom 3 BFG edition sold 600 million copies for PC. Doom 2016 sold 5.5.
You mean 6 million? 600,000.
Oh, 600,000. My bad.
Yeah,
I wrote down million for some stupid ass reason. Doom 2016 sold 5.5 million, and Doom Eternal sold 5.1 million on Steam. So, yeah. So it was...
What about Xbox? What about PlayStation? What about...
Yeah. So what the fuck? Okay, yeah, because
you're missing heaps because of
Yeah,
like it went on Game Pass.
Your numbers suck.
Yeah, it's got to be more, dude. It's got to be.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So I will say, when I was putting this together, the fucking like when I was putting the numbers together, there wasn't a whole bunch of info out there as far as how many sales numbers are for there. So when I looked it up, I gathered what numbers there were. And so when I saw those, I guess I just skimmed over the fact that it was units sold on Steam.
There's also there's Doom 64.
Yeah.
That
So I'm looking on Google here, and the numbers, he's right, the numbers are really fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say this question is a wash.
Yep.
There's no like solid.
Yep,
figures
you're right.
at all.
You're right. Because like I said, you can't even just simply Google it. You've got to like look pretty deep into different articles and places where there are games. And yeah, when I came up with that 15 number, I was like, oh yeah, like here's the full list. And I didn't read carefully enough when I put this together. So I apologize, guys. My fucking bad. My fucking bad.
That is fine.
Even the generative AI on Google is being weird, which I mean I don't really believe that anyway, but Chat GPT and Grok can be manipulated by the way you ask questions. So
yeah, that is very true. So how many times has Doom been rebooted? Rebooted. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, we're gonna put. So there is I forget the name of it. There is a weird release on PlayStation that's like kind of official and kind of not. We're gonna shelve that. I want to say 2.
Okay. What about you, Fraser?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that Doom 3 was a reboot because Doom 3 went from the kind of first-person shooter to more of like a survival horror type deal. And then we're talking Doom 2016 would have been another reboot.
Well, I don't agree with that, but anyway.
2016 would have been another reboot?
You don't think
2016 is technically a sequel.
to what?
2, if I remember correctly.
But it's definitely like I would consider it a reboot, even though it is a sequel. If it's considered a sequel, that's fine. But I would still consider it a reboot.
So the answer,
I'm yeah.
the answer is in between both of you guys. I wrote down 2 because officially the number is 1 based off of the 2016 reboot. That is the official answer. Like, that's what Bethesda refers to it as. Like, at least on Giant Bomb. Like, according to Giant Bomb, whenever they had an interview with them, the creators over at ID, they were like, yeah, that's our reboot, right? And with Doom 3, it's considered a soft reboot just because they went such a drastically different route. They were trying to see if that was going to work for them, and it didn't really. So yeah, everybody considers it a reboot. It's just not, even though it was never officially said. So I wrote down 2 because that made more sense.
I'm seeing a shitload of debate about whether or not 3 is a reboot, whether or not 2016 is a reboot.
Well,
my bad.
I think
my bad.
only officially. We have to go official. We can't talk about Reddit. Reddit's not real.
No, it's not Reddit. It's the AI. It's Wikipedia. It's GameFAQs FAQs. And I'm not running across like the Bethesda website on this, so I don't. Yeah.
Let's see.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. How long was the gap between Doom 3 and Doom 2016?
Well, I know that Doom 3 came out on the original Xbox. And Doom 2016 was on the Xbox One and the PS4.
Well, 2016 was 2016.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And so...
I'm going to go ahead... Okay, the 360 launch...
Nobody's ever going to listen to us again. These fucking idiots.
So I'm going to pull a random number out of my ass, and I'm going to say the Doom 3... So the Xbox 360 launched in 06 or 07, right?
I believe it was 4. It was 4 because the 360 launched in 2006.
That's what I was saying. That the 360 launched in 06.
Oh, I thought you said the original. My bad. I thought you said the original.
So
okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it released in 2005. So that's 11 years.
Okay. So what was
I'm gonna say 13.
13. Damn it, guys! It's a tie because it's 12. It was 12 years, a 12-year gap. So you all were really fucking close. Even you, Steve. I see you in there. So why the long wait? That's not a question. Like I did my research on this one. It's better than, the research I did for that last question, I promise. So early on, the primary reason was the engine development. And then development on other games, like they were helping out with Quake 4, and they were helping out with Enemy Territory, Quake Wars, along with Splash Damage. Then there was a ZeniMax acquisition in 2009 that didn't help either.
I was gonna say, didn't Bethesda buy them before the Xbox One? In the 360 era?
It probably, but all I saw when I was looking it up was just the ZeniMax information. And then between shifting trends in the FPS genre, it was getting difficult for ID Software to find their Doom formula. According to Giant Bomb, there were attempts made to make a Doom 4, but the game was scrapped as they struggled to find their new direction. Which was kind of crazy to me. Like, I thought it was really crazy interesting, the fact that they didn't know what their direction was anymore as a franchise.
I like that though.
Yeah,
I like the fact that they were like, we don't know what we're doing,
so we're not going to make a game.
Just make something.
Yeah,
let's not just make something random and just slap Doom on it.
Yeah,
like let's wait and see what comes of it. which I think more companies need to do. Like, just chill, just fucking chill.
Absolutely.
And don't just like, I know that there's shareholder pressure, there's money pressure, there's time pressure, but like we've seen it time and time and time again, just crap games being released with a name slapped on it.
Yep.
Like, and yeah, so that's really cool. The fact that they were like, you know what? No, we're not going to do Doom. We're going to wait.
Absolutely. And yeah, when I was reading that, I kind of thought about Nintendo a little bit, how they never made they've waited until Mario Kart World to do their next Mario Kart, because their whole reasoning was, we're not going to just make another Mario Kart to make another Mario Kart game. We want to know what the new thing for that game is going to be. So it was really interesting doing this research earlier this week and then going in to playing the new Doom game and seeing all the new changes into the game that they did and ways that they've innovated just since Doom Eternal. So yeah, absolutely. So the next question is kind of a boring one, and then we'll get right back to this topic. How many mainline games are there in Doom?
So I'm assuming we're not counting Final Doom or Doom 64, because I think both of those are considered spin-offs.
I think Doom 64 is considered part of the deal.
It's mainline. Mm-hmm.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it listed here. And also, Doom: The Dark Ages is considered mainline as well.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's considered an upcoming prequel to the 2016 reboot.
According to Wikipedia, for what that's worth, Doom 64 is considered a spin-off. But anyway.
Really?
Wikipedia is... I can jump onto Wikipedia and edit that, so I don't think that Wikipedia is.
Yeah, and then 5 of us can get on there and say "fuck you, Fraser," and then fix that.
Yeah.
I think what we need, Bethesda, release a Doom timeline. God damn it!
I'm gonna say 7.
Okay. All right. So we got 7. Steve says 8. I'm gonna throw you into this, Steve. You're out here playing. I love it.
Yeah, he's here. He's in.
1, 2, 3. We're counting 64. Final Doom definitely wouldn't be on this list. 3. I'm gonna say 6.
7 is the correct answer. You've got Doom 93, Doom 2 94, Doom 64 and 97, Doom 3 in 2004, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and Doom: The Dark Ages. And then let's see. What was the first weird device to run Doom? Now, before I wrote this down as like there's a definitive answer. There's not really a definitive answer to this question. There are 2 or 3 things that were the most. There are I'm so sorry. There are 2 or 3 objects that have run Doom that are like the first recorded things to be ported onto, you know, such as like a potato or something. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, I know it's been ported to a flip phone. I know it's been ported to a pregnancy test, kind of.
Well, they've got a cardboard box can run it.
I
know that's a thing. Steve said a butt plug. Hopefully you have to. Why not? You have to wear it and watch it in the mirror to play it, so everything's reversed.
The source code for Doom got released in the mid-90s.
Look, now we got Russell ticking over. He's doing
it. So, like, you're saying the first weird thing.
Yep, like the first weird thing. This isn't a definitive answer. There are 2 or 3 things you could say that are different.
It wouldn't be the John Deere tractor, because that's relatively recent. The pregnancy testing is in the last few years. A fridge?
You can
no,
run it on a
you're wrong,
fridge.
Steve.
You can run it on a
You
fridge.
can, but the fridge that you would. I'm gonna go ahead and say a flip phone. I don't know if that's right or not though.
Okay, what about you, Fraser?
I don't even know. I got no idea. Let's go with a calculator.
What is a butt lug?
The the
I
oldest
think it's a P.
recorded
Actually, a
device.
calculator would make sense.
The oldest recorded device of being able to run Doom is in fact a T83 or 84
Yeah.
calculator.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
That, or I would have also accepted Kodak digital camera. And the third thing was something I can't even remember what it was. I didn't even bother writing it down because I was like, nobody's going to get that.
It's amazing.
Now, the next question again, because when I was putting this together, I mean, man, there is not a whole bunch of definitive answers out there, but I wanted to talk history of Doom, and I was like, what's a fun way to talk about the history of Doom? So, how many devices can you play Doom on? Do you think?
Oh. Like, are we talking like
Just
legitimate devices, or are we?
Yeah, like weird, not like legitimate devices like an Xbox versus PlayStation, but like potato versus calculator and Kodak camera.
That has no answer.
It doesn't. It doesn't. But
We gotta be close, right?
There's a
I'm gonna
forum.
say 500.
Okay.
So 500.
There's a forum out there that's keeping track of all the known things that have been used so far. As to how accurate that is, I'm not 100% sure, but when I went through it, I mean, I was seeing all the ones I knew of.
So, when you say it can run Doom, are we talking about the original 1993 Doom?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay. No, Steve, your answer of 17 is not correct. I mean, there's probably 17 consoles that can run Doom.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's
325.
So there's 87 recorded ports on there's a website called canitrundoom.org, and that kind of keeps track of all the different ones that they have. So do you guys know exactly why Doom is so playable on all these different devices?
Because the source code got released really early on.
So kinda.
Hold on.
Oh,
if I remember right,
this wasn't even a question.
The original owners of Doom, who may or may not have been id Software, I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone told them that if they released the source code, that they wouldn't make any money on the game. So just to do it, they fucking released it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I got this info from Game because it's hella easy, clearly. But I got this information from Game Ranks. The reason why Doom is ported so readily is due to various factors behind its development and distribution. First and foremost, Doom broke tradition from other games of its time by being made publicly available as open source and originally released as shareware by id Software. A Linux version of Doom's code was made available in 97, but it didn't take long for the programmers to reverse engineer to its original 93 version. Moreover, without delving too deep into the technicalities, what helped programmers code with Doom was that it was written in C, renowned at the time for being far easier to port than other forms of code. Today, C was backwards compatibility with other languages such as C++ and a host of compilers for almost any platform. This also had the added bonus of only needing low hardware specification in terms of processing power thanks to its efficient programming, meaning that Doom could run on even the lowest performing PC. So I know that's just a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo to most of us, like, especially when I'm sitting there talking about C and C++. But the main takeaway there is that it requires almost next to nothing in the sense of energy and power to run it. So, yeah, that's kind of the summary reason as to why so many things can run Doom.
I mean,
Okay.
it all made sense to me, but
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right, Mr. Smarty Pants. I don't know what see, I'm just not a coder. I don't know any of the code talk in C++ and all that stuff.
I am definitely not a coder, but I've had to use C++ for a couple or C++ for a couple of things.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Let's see. I had one other thing, I believe. Oh no, that was it. That was it. I had the other note I had was all the numbers of copies sold, which was wrong. So yeah, that
So
was
Doom was the winner on the day.
Doom. I didn't keep track.
Doom won. Doom won.
Doom won. Doom won. What was your guys' experience playing Doom?
Like our first experience.
Yeah. Like, what's just in general your experience playing Doom?
Fraser might want to go first. I might get a little long-winded with this, but
So, as we all know, I didn't start gaming until a lot later in life. So, my first experience with Doom was Doom 3 on the Xbox 360. So, it terrified the shit out of me. It was because I remember that at one point in the game, you could only have a torch or a weapon. You couldn't have both. So you could either see and die or not see and shoot.
Yeah. Yep.
And I want to go, like, I've been meaning to go back and play it recently because I'm going through my like 360 backlog, which I'm having loads of fun with. But like, yeah, so my first experience with Doom was actually the survival horror thing. I had friends back in the day that had Doom on like the original Doom and Doom 2 on a PC, but they were actually more into Wolfenstein than Doom. So whenever I'd go over, we'd chuck on the computer and we'd play Wolfenstein over Doom. Even though they were pretty much the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was either not killing Nazis or killing demons. But yeah, so it wasn't like, and then kind of like Doom just kind of died off for me after Doom 3. And it wasn't until like Doom 16, obviously, Doom 16 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it was the music. The
Mm-hmm.
music was just, when that Doom music kicks in and you're just like, what? This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the speed of it was like, so much fun. So much fun. So yeah, my like initial experience with Doom was 3.
Yeah.
And then it's actually only been recently when the anthology box set got released.
Yeah.
I played through Doom 1 and Doom 2. Brilliant. Brilliant fun. Obviously super dated.
Oh yeah.
And it's really hard. Like really hard.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. I played it for
those,
like 20 minutes and I was like, damn, this is kind of hard.
Yeah, and like especially on those higher difficulties. Whew, it's brutal.
I actually didn't even touch
for
it.
me. Yeah. Just play it on. Was it Hurt Me Daddy?
I think so.
I think that's the original, which is amazing. Yeah. So, Doom 64 is the next one on my list after I finish up with Dark Ages.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So
for me, yeah.
What was your favorite out of all of those? It was Doom 2016, you think?
Out of all of them, like to like just even including Dark Ages.
Oh.
I actually think that Dark Ages is my favorite.
Ho, snap. How far have you made it into it so far?
I am on chapter 7.
Okay. I'm not too crazy behind you then. Okay, because I'm on like
Come on.
3. So I've barely
There's a
been able to
couple
get
of
some
really
time in yet.
there's a couple of really short chapters, and there's a couple of like really big chapters.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But no, the thing I'm just gonna keep talking. But the
Yeah,
thing,
go for
the
it.
reason that I'm saying Dark Ages is because as I'm getting older, and as I'm getting into like my teaching and my training and all that kind of stuff, like accessibility is so important. It's so important for everything in life in general. And like that whole thing, like Xbox's whole mantra of like gaming is for everyone. Like, do you know what? It should be for everyone, but it's actually not. There's actually
Mhm.
there's so much in gaming that, people with disabilities and people that just can't do. But with the Dark Ages, the accessibility sliders in that, I feel like I've made my own Doom. Like difficulty, speed, projectile speed, damage given, damage received, being able to change the colors, being able like you can even change the little face in the middle of the screen that shows the
Yep.
blood. You can change it to the original Doom face. Um, there's there's just there's so much cool stuff that they've done that like I feel like I've made my own Doom,
Mhm.
and that's why I love this the most, because
Okay.
that parrying system that they've included, how have they not done that sooner? It's perfect. It's the perfect. It feels so good in this to be able to absorb all that damage and fire it back at them.
Mhm.
I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Bro, I just gotta tell you, you did a great job at talking about at talking about Doom, because I all the questions that I had lined up, like you pretty much just
Mhm.
in one fell swoop answered all of them. And
Yeah.
not only that, I mean, you also show me why, you proved to everybody why everybody wants to have you on their podcast. Right? I
Um,
mean, dude, yeah, the accessibility is so important. And the Doom the Dark Ages, that was one of the first things I noticed too, was like, man, you can literally change everything. And I
mhm.
not to go on and on about Assassin's Creed, but that was something else that I loved about Shadows so much is, again, with that
Yeah.
game, I felt like I made my own game. I
Mm.
wrote that in my
Yeah.
review. That Assassin's Creed is whatever you want it to be, in the sense of
Yeah.
you can change it to auto kill, you can change it to this, that, or the other thing. Um, and yeah,
And so,
I'll get to some more questions with Russell, but yeah, I'm sure you're gonna circle back to everything you
I
just said. But
I
sorry, I
just
didn't
want to
mean to
like
interrupt you there. Go.
no,
Go.
just one more thing. Like this, everyone like talks about DEI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how go woke, broke, go broke, blah blah blah. No, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. DEI is not having a black person in your game, or being about gay people, or being about whatever. Like that, it's about inclusion. Inclusion, full stop. Just just because the main character is black doesn't
Yep.
mean that this is a DEI game.
Yep.
Like for me, Doom the Dark Ages is the most DEI game I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And just the inclusion thing. That's all I have to say about that. I don't want to go into any more because it really rocks people up, and I'm not about that. But I just wanted to say, like, you know, as I'm working more with DEI stuff, and the more I'm understanding it, the more it means to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
I couldn't have said it better myself. Seriously,
yeah.
awesome. So Russell, to kind of go back a couple steps, what is your experience with Doom?
What do you mean? Like my first experience, or
Just like
do you
no,
want like a map out of?
just kind of like what Doom games have you played and your background with the franchise.
So, I probably oh, sorry, coughing
Bless
phlegm
you.
out of the throat. So I probably played Doom 2 on SNES. I know one of my friends growing up early on had that, and I'm sure I messed around with it for like 15 minutes or something. But the first one I remember playing a lot of was Doom 64. Um, there are plenty of ways to play that game now. I do not suggest necessarily going back to the 64 to play it.
Uh-oh.
After that,
You're stuttering, Russell. Okay. You're
Oh,
good.
you're back.
You're good. You're back.
weird, my bitrate and everything is. Anyway, who cares? Maybe the internet was just shitting out or something. Anyway, so from there, I want to say I had played. There was, I mean, I guess Frasier can't really relate to this. Maybe he can. I don't know. But as staying up with your friends late at night will do, me and another friend named Jacob discovered Final Doom, which I didn't find out till later is not. Final Doom is Doom 2, but I forget exactly how many levels Doom 2 has, but I believe Final Doom has somewhere between 60 and 70 levels.
Ooh.
It's a mod that actually I believe it's an official release on the PS1. Um, so Nathan, are we saving like favorite and least favorite for last, or?
Well, you can go ahead and dive right into favorite because we kind of got into that with Frasier as well. So yeah,
Well,
what is your favorite in the franchise?
well, it's not. So from there, I played Doom 3 on the 360, I believe. Because I believe it was originally for Xbox, and then I played it through back compat. And then it wasn't actually until the Xbox One where I went back and played 1 and 2 to like, an extent and length. And then obviously with the Xbox One just through Game Pass, pretty much played all of them, I believe. I still have,
Yeah.
even though I don't have a system that will run it, I still have my limited run Xbox One version of Doom 64 lying around here
Oh,
somewhere, I
nice.
believe. It was the first Xbox game they ever printed. In their they'd done Xbox games before that, but as far as their like official, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, that was their first one. I know they've done Xbox releases before then. And then obviously 2016 Doom Eternal. And then Doom the Dark Ages. I guess a point I wanted to make, because I know Doom Eternal is like a hot topic for some people. You had brought up a favorite game. You know, that's probably a tie, and this is gonna seem really strange. But my favorite Doom is probably either. This is gonna be strange because they're like so different. But either Doom 2 or 2016. I'm not sure
Okay.
which. I know that seems really strange.
Yeah, those are
Because
very wildly differently.
yeah, they're wildly different. I know some people with Doom Eternal complained about the platforming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like understand that, honestly. I got lost a little bit in Doom Eternal because some of the platforming is not as obvious as maybe it could be, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But it didn't really bother me that much. Now, as far as Doom: The Dark Ages goes, so I will say if you're like a hardcore Doom guy, the parrying takes a little getting used to, or at least it did for me. Overall, the shield mechanic has been kind of fun though. It kind of helped like mix things up a little bit. I'm the guy that, so I don't even know if you guys know. So in the older Dooms, you've got the gun in the middle of the screen. There's actually an option in 2016 and Eternal to do that, which is how I play them. I don't know if you two do or not,
Yeah. I've
but
played it like that, but that's not how I prefer
yeah,
to.
that's the way I do it. As soon as I found out about the shield mechanic, I was a little butthurt because I was like, well, if you have to have a shield, then obviously they're not. And I don't know if it's in there or not, but I perused the options a little bit and didn't see it in there. I spent most of my time at the beginning of the game screwing with everything because so that I could get triple digit FPS because that's just how I play Doom. With Doom, for me, if it's not at least 100 FPS, I don't want to play it.
It needs to be quick, right?
Yeah.
Doom's quick.
I screwed around. I screwed around with Dark Ages a little bit, and I dropped it to 60 FPS, and it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
But Doom the Dark Ages, again, they've screwed with a little bit, but I mean, it's still a Doom game. They're still platforming. There's more cutscenes than any other Doom I can remember.
But I noticed that.
But I still don't really know what's going on because I'm not paying attention to them, to be honest. I've gathered that there's this group of whatever the hell they are that talk a lot, and it kind of seems like your Doom guy is like a slave to them or something.
Yeah.
I'm not really
that's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah, but I don't pay. Obviously, I started playing Doom relatively early on, and if we're being honest, the earlier games, if you wanted any story out of it, you had to read the booklet. They didn't really try to. They didn't try to tell a story with it until probably 3, if I remember right.
An amazing movie with Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can. We don't need to talk about.
We should have a rewatch. We should
yes,
have a watch party.
Do.
We should have a watch party. Let's do it.
The Rock. The Rock was in it too, wasn't he?
Yep.
Even The Rock has shit on that movie.
Oh, that is saying a lot when it's The Rock talking shit about a bad movie.
I guess if we're gonna talk about, I mean, Fraser kind of already broke it when he was talking about favorites, so I did too. If we were going to talk about least favorite for a second, so honestly, even including a Final Doom, which is kind of weird, there's really only one Doom game that I have played that I didn't really like, and that was Doom 3. I understand without Doom 3, we wouldn't have gotten 2016 or Eternal or eventually Dark Ages, so like I get it. But some of those Doom 1 and Doom 2 were definitely what I would consider like pseudo 3D. Kind of like with like early Super Nintendo games like Mario Kart, like it was 3D but it wasn't really 3D. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And Doom 64 was still a little bit like that too. So like Doom 3 was the first one where they tried like a bunch of cutscenes and all this other crap, and like to me it's just boring and I didn't really like it. I have never, so I finished 1, 2, 64, 2016, all on the Xbox One, I believe. I don't think I've finished Doom Eternal. I don't know if I'm gonna finish Dark Ages, at least anytime soon, because I got just other shit to work on.
Right.
But I've been enjoying it. It might be not to spoil my Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 game, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is not a game you can just get home and play for a couple hours.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine.
And there's a lot of reasons for that, and it's one of the handful of reasons the review's taking so long is playing it throughout the week is almost like a chore.
Right.
And as at least Nathan knows, this is the first Saturday I'll have off in like a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoy all the games pretty much for what they are, except for 3. 3 is kind of like, I kind of equate it to Resident Evil 7. Every couple years I go and I try to play it, and then like I play it for a couple hours, and then I remember why I hate it, and I don't touch it for a couple years.
So, we gotta start wrapping up here fairly soon. So the next question I'm gonna ask, and it's more directed towards Russell, because Fraser, you kind of already highlighted these things again, which is why I was praising you earlier, because you you immediately started going into what makes Doom special. And again, we kind of talked about that during the history and the trivia of it all, of finding their new route and finding their identity in a world full of first-person shooters. You know, you got your Call of Duties, you got your Battlefield, you've got Wolfenstein, you've got all these different things. What is it about Doom specifically that makes it so different, so special? Russell, you go first.
So I kind of equate Doom, and I don't know what Fraser said because I had to fucking pee. But I kind of equate Doom to Slayer, and Fraser's gonna understand that. Slayer is Slayer, and Doom is Doom. You talk about identity. I think Doom is known what it is since the very first game. And much like Slayer, there was a weird period in the 90s with Slayer, with Diablos and Musica and Divine Intervention, where I don't really know what the hell they were doing.
I don't think they were like, Jeff, you take the wheel, and he was like, all right, let's play some punk music. And then they were like,
yeah.
nah, that sucks. Let's go back to metal.
It wasn't even like everyone in the early to mid 90s was trying to do like the new metal thing, and it worked for like Korn and Slipknot, but it didn't really work for Slayer. But then with God Hates Us All, I kind of feel like that was a little bit of a retreat back to what they used to be, and started enjoying them again. Kind of like Doom, where it got a little weird with 3, and I don't really think I liked that. I don't know what they were. With 3, it's not just the cutscenes that are jarring, although that was a little bit of it. Doom 3 didn't. It was like kind of like a Doom game, but kind of not. There was a little bit more like traversal and exploration than we were used to, which was weird. And I just don't think they really knew what the hell they were doing. It didn't seem like it anyway. So yeah, I literally, like, you talk about identity, I literally equate Doom to Slayer. It's just like, you know what Slayer is, you know what you're getting. I mean, you should know what you're getting with a Slayer album, and you should know what you're getting with a Doom game too. And I was a little worried that Dark Ages was going to veer too far from that, but I don't think it has. I don't. So the one mech mission I've done so far, I liked. The dragon stuff, I thought it was going to be cooler than it is. I could kind of take or leave, honestly.
It feels like filler, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Feels like filler
I
content.
think so. Oh, and I do want to talk about the Doom soundtrack a little bit. They didn't bring back Gordon, which, if you don't know, there's been some like contract money shit.
Know a little
going
bit
on with
about
him.
it.
Yeah, him and Bethesda. So I'm not surprised about that. I am a little surprised. So they contracted 2 guys to do the Doom Eternal DLC soundtrack. That was not Gordon. That was a guy named Andrew and another guy whose name's escaping me right now. Why they didn't bring them back? Why they didn't bring them back? I'm not really sure. And like, they're not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. They're just not. Maybe simple is the right word. There's just not a lot. You know, you get all these guns and you can upgrade them and you can switch between the super shotgun and the shotgun, and then the dragon is just the dragon. So, like Fraser, I am stuck, I believe, in the middle of Chapter 7. I'm having a hard time with a boss fight. I'm not sure if it's in the middle of it or at the end of it, but maybe that changes. Maybe you can upgrade the dragon and the mech later. I'm not really sure. I'm again not. I think the game said there's 22 missions, so not even halfway through. So we'll see how that goes. But
Do you guys
I just want to
feel like Steve asked, is it like the Batman Arkham Knight Batmobile again when it comes to flying the dragon?
I thought the Batmobile was better.
Oh damn! Uh-oh.
I hate the dragon
Don't
parts.
say that to me, damn it.
I don't hate it.
It removes me. It removes me
Yeah.
from
What you're
Doom.
doing.
For me, Doom is over the top, ridiculous, never reloading, absorbing damage, quick, and then you get in the dragon, and you're like, now I'm just flying places. Like,
dragons suck.
Well,
yeah.
and to be fair, like the dragon level, so you're not even on the dragon the whole time. Although I will say there's a spot where like you're on the dragon, and then you get off the dragon, and then you basically like just go through this tunnel, and then the dragon's on the platform after the tunnel, and I'm like, well, why'd you have me even get off the fucking dragon? Because you're literally off of him for like what 30 seconds, and then you're back on
Yeah.
him. So I thought that was a little weird. But then after that, like there's like a castle with like some ships or whatever the hell it is on them, and you'd have to hit points in them, and then you drop, and then you're a Doom guy again, and you kill some shit, and you get back on the dragon. So it's not you're not even on the dragon the whole level.
Yeah.
I understand what Fraser's saying. One of the most infamous lulls in a game, and what I mean by lull is not LOL, I mean low point, in a game that I absolutely love, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. After Big Smoke and Ryder turn on you, and you end up in that hick redneck town for a little while, and you've got your girlfriend Catalina or whatever. After that, you buy a garage, and there is like some remote control car missions and like the remote control helicopter. I love that game,
Dave.
but I would get it. I would give it a 9.5 because of that stupid helicopter bullshit. The dragon is not nearly that bad. What is Steve?
Said
He's saying
spoilers.
Spoilers.
Oh,
Spoilers.
do you want me? Do you want me to fucking time? Do you want me to time you out again?
Back to what Russell was saying though about the music. I'm gonna go out there and say that the Dark Ages, the music, they've missed it. It's,
Yeah,
for me,
it's not. It's not.
it's
the
not.
Same.
It's not the same.
Oh,
Just
really?
because it has just because it has double kicks doesn't mean it's metal. Like,
Yeah, and I mean it's metal, but it's not.
it just, I don't know. Like, I'm playing, and then I'm like, oh, that's right. There's music playing as well. Where like you're playing 2016 or you're playing Eternal, and the music builds as the battle builds. The music has lulls. The music
Yeah.
has bits. Where this is just the same. It's just chugging guitars and blast beats, and like, I don't know. It's
Even
fine.
even the first 3 games that were done on like a fucking MIDI keyboard, like it was still kind of like felt like pumping your fist metal type stuff.
Yeah.
And
I've missed it.
there's a little bit of that in this, but yeah, it's just not. It's not the same.
Yeah, that's my only thing that I have to say about Dark Ages is so far is that the music, I've missed it completely.
So, would you like to go into a little bit more about what makes Doom special, Fraser?
Oh, like for me, it's the music. It's the music and the over the top pacing of Doom. That's what makes it. And right from, like Russell said, right from the first game, they know what they're doing. You don't have to reload. You don't take cover. You don't like do anything that stops you from advancing. It's always push forwards. Always forwards, no matter what.
I don't like telling people how to play games, but I've seen gameplay of people like playing it like it's a Call of Duty game, and like there's some stuff that like there's structures and stuff that you can kind of run behind to like maybe grab health or something, but I don't generally like camp out there for like minutes at a time and use it for cover. Particularly in Dark Ages, they've kind of nailed that like if you do that, you're probably going to get swarmed, and if you just so happen to be by something where there's not a regenerative health point, you're fucked anyway. So they've kind of designed it as a lot of Doom games have, or most of them anyway. I never made it anywhere near finishing 3, so I'm not really sure about that one. But
I think 3 is an anomaly in this.
I
conversation.
really don't like 3. I was afraid with Doom: The Dark Ages when I started hearing about like the parry and stuff. I was like, oh, is this gonna be like 3 where I just don't like it and it doesn't feel like a Doom game?
Yeah.
It feels like a Doom game with a shield.
Yeah.
Steve just said, someone said if you turn the effects down and turn the music all the way up, it plays better.
Okay. I'll give it a go. I'll give that a go.
So Steve, I hate to be a dick. I tried that. And there are parts where it gets better, but there's also a lot of lulls in the music too. They're like really heavy parts of the music. It's not it doesn't feel like it's as often as the older games, and maybe that's just me ignoring the soundtrack because it's not as great as it once was.
Mm.
But
I think because like what makes a good like metal song like for me is like the breakdowns and the change of speed and the change of pace. With this, there doesn't seem to be that change. It's just the same time signature and then it gets heavier. But like if anything, the heavy bits should be slower and chuggier. And yeah. But anyway, that's it. Yeah. What I do love, one thing that I've noticed that's been very cool, like the destructible environment, right?
Right.
You feel like a fucking tank.
Yes.
You're running. The ground shakes under you when you run. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there was this one bit, there was like a little bit of a market area, obviously, and there were like buildings and shit around. You can run through parts of the building and it will fall down. And then you run through the next bit and the next bit falls down. And if you take out all 4 pillars, the whole roof collapses. Like it's just cool little shit like that like they didn't need to do that and they've done it.
I didn't do anything like that.
Now,
yeah.
See, I saw in the chat the other day, I kind of, sometimes when I can't catch up with all of the stuff going on in the Discord, I'll kind of just skim through the notifications, kind of get a gist of if it's a conversation I can hop in on, or if I'm just unable to catch up on, right? So I think I saw Jeff, Steve, and one of you two talking about Space Marine 2 and Game of the Year and how this holds up. And I had the same thought as you, Steve, and Jeff when it came to how I was feeling about Doom the Dark Ages this year, is that this year it's the Space Marine 2 of the year. And because I got the exact same vibe as you guys did, where I feel like a Space Marine. It reminded me of that. Like when you're climbing the walls, the vibrations into the controller, and like you jump up, you take a big jump, fall down, and there's 5 little dudes surrounding you, and they all just explode from your mere presence. Yeah. Like, come on. And okay. All right. That's for you, Steve. Mwah, mwah. I love SEO. Don't get me wrong. Listen, one day I'll get to meet what's his name who voice acts for him. Anyways, but yeah, no. When it comes to what makes Doom special, man, I've been thinking about this all week in preparation for this episode because I think about Wolfenstein, right? And that game sticks out to me. Apart from, I've played countless first-person shooter games. Why does Wolfenstein, why does that stick out? And now Doom, it's a little easier, but I want to point out Wolfenstein and why it's so special, because that kind of goes hand in hand with Doom, right? It's honestly, I gotta say, it's the gameplay, and it kind of go hand in hand with what Fraser's saying. It is that fast-paced gameplay. It is you are here to just simply blow stuff up, have a good time. This isn't a game trying to be super realistic. This isn't a game trying to push a story. This isn't a game that's trying to compete with Call of Duty. This isn't a game that's trying to get you into a loop of the monetization that they have. This isn't a game that's trying to get you to check in for your daily rewards. This is a game that's like saying, hey, we know we got you for a couple hours. Do you want to blow shit up and be a total badass for a little bit and then, never forget about it for the next 4 years? I mean, come on. Like, the game is known for having a gun called the BFG, the big fucking gun. I I mean, come on. You know this
Yeah.
is the kind of game you're just gonna blow shit up. You're gonna have a good time, and it's because of those small attention to details, such as climbing up hills and being bulky, and those badass cutscene moments that makes you feel amazing. That kind of benefit towards oh wow, I feel special. I feel different. This game makes me feel more than just another dude with a gun. You're the Doom guy. And it's like they also embrace the fact that the Doom guy is kind of a joke at this point. Like it's kind of like a like they
Just
know
Doom
they're
guy.
cheesy. They know they're cheesy and they love it and they like own that. And I think it's when you own it that, people really start to love that. Or trust me, I'm the king of like doing stupid shit in front of people, and then when you just own it and like it makes everybody around you so much more comfortable when you're like, yeah, that was really stupid of me to do that thing, right? And it's kind of the same thing with cheesy stuff, right? But yeah, no, I definitely feel like it's the gameplay. And usually whenever it comes to a really good game, it always comes down to the attention to detail for sure. And there is something to be said for the music as well. The metal and the fact that you've got these games such as what's that game that got its studio shut down?
You're gonna have to be a lot more specific than that.
The Xbox game that Shadow dropped 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You got the guitar.
That one.
It's a rhythm-based game. Yeah, nope. All right.
I know what you're talking about.
You do know what I'm talking about?
It just got released on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. Thank you so much. So like Hi-Fi Rush, and then there's also the Hellstorm or Hell something where you know what I'm talking about. Those rhythm-based games that are focused around music. There's an audience for that kind of game, and music does bring people into games, right? I think those titles show that people will come just for the music, and not just good gameplay. Because I think that, yeah, Rock Band, yes, Rock Band as well.
Yep, another one. Another good one.
Another good rhythm-based game, right? But yeah, no, I think that definitely adds to its uniqueness. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up there because we are running at about 2 hours now. I'm definitely going to chop this up for Spotify and those areas. So I will kind of just do the first hour as like, hey, that was a 1 episode special. We did that to catch up since we hadn't podcasted so long. And, our episodes are always an hour and a half and stuff. And again, today's the exception, right? We haven't podcasted in so long. We owe you an extra half hour, So, yeah, stay tuned. Let us know your feelings on the changes. And we're glad to be back, Russell, thanks for coming on. Fraser, do you have anything you wanted to say before we go?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys have a great day, and
have a beautiful day.
Yeah, we will see you next week.
Oh, Steve mentioned plugs. We got a plug. Man. If we don't plug, we're not going to get anywhere.
You're right. I already had Russell do his plug earlier. The plugs are already in the description of this video, but Russell, you want to start us out? Plug your shit.
My shit.
Plug your shit with the anal plug Steve had earlier.
I mean,
that
you can follow me. You can follow me on fucking Twitter/X, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's in the description. I have a YouTube channel, Casualties of Gaming. Mods, ROM hacks, little devices to play such things on, and recently covering more GitHub related projects.
And Freeze.
Lovely. Yeah, you can find me at FBomb Gaming everywhere. That's just me. F-bomb with an E. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't ever ask me what my gamer tag is because y'all know it's one hot dragon, all right? It's one hot dragon
One
everywhere.
Beautiful dragon.
If you can't find it, just try capitals, try taking out the spaces. It's only different because of the requirements to get signed up to a website, right? Right now, the only thing I'm on is the Gamer Social Club. That's all the time I have right now, especially during this move. I barely have time for the website right now. So, yeah. Thanks for reminding us about our plugs, Steve. Love you.
We'll get better at plugging.
Juan Hot Dragon. Love
You're,
yeah, because that was one of the things me and Fraser talked about when it came to changes and things we wanted to do more on the show was talking more about what's going on our YouTubes and what's going on our channels. And I remembered to ask Russell, but I forgot to ask you, Fraser. So I'm sorry. I hope you will forgive me for my transgressions.
No, it's totally fine, my friend. Totally fine.
All right, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week when we talk.
Mwah.
I think. Give me 1 second. We're gonna talk Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Have a
Ciao,
great
bye.
day.
All right, bye. Ciao.